Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is the Prince of FNAF, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing, and also be sure to hit that notification bell. That way, you'll indeed be notified for any awesome videos like this in the future. Clifford the Big Red Dog is a 2021 action-adventure movie starring Jack Whitehall and Darby Camp. When Emily discovers her little red puppy named Clifford has grown up 10 feet overnight, she turns to her eccentric Uncle Casey for help. But when a mad scientist tries to capture the larger-than-life playful pup, it takes the entire help of the neighborhood to hide Clifford as they are chased across the city. This was a really fun movie, and I love the aesthetic of it being the kind of movie where you have the parental figure going away for a while and looking for somebody to take care of their kid. They can't find someone, so they're left with someone that's more than less qualified to take care of the kid. Hilarity ensues in the same realm of Alvin and the Chipmunks, Squeakquel, and Uncle Buck. You have this character that means well, but he's always messing stuff up. Now, when it came to finally watching the movie, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if it would be based on any form of Clifford media. I didn't know if it would be based on the original children's books, or if it would be based on the TV show that used to run on CBS Kids. I had no idea what to expect. And even if there are references to the TV series or the books, which I'm sure there are, I didn't notice them. And it's still a fun movie to enjoy, even if your mind is a little rusty with the Clifford lore. The movie opens up with a mother dog and her babies hanging out in an abandoned warehouse until they are captured by animal control. Fortunately or unfortunately for Clifford, he was hiding at the time, so they didn't take him. So, being lonely and sad with the loss of his family, Clifford wanders around the city until he finds a nice old man who runs a pet store of sorts for weird and unusual pets, and that is where he stays. We are then treated to a scene where we get to see Emily and her family. She just got home from boarding school, or was it private school? I have no idea. They're all the same to me. But she comes back and she gets started with her chores. Her mother is a very busy woman, so she leaves during this scene and says that she is going to be staying with her uncle. Her uncle's going to be at the apartment and hanging out with her the next few days. And obviously, the uncle is set up as this kind of messes things up character that we're going to be having tons of fun with throughout the entire movie. The next day, on their way to school, Emily notices a big tent with animals for sale. They are supposed rescues, and Emily convinces her uncle to let her go in there. They meet the nice old man who runs this place, and he says, "Well, you're not looking for a pet, I have just the thing." And so this is where they find Clifford, and immediately Emily falls in love with Clifford and wants to take him home, much to the uncle's dismay. But eventually, Clifford does sneak into her backpack. However, this is never flat out stated how he did this. Originally, it was believed that maybe the uncle might have snuck him into the backpack, but it later is revealed that the uncle was just as surprised as Emily was. Emily sleeps with Clifford, and the next day, Clifford is 10 feet tall, barely fitting in the apartment, wrecking everything by accident, of course. And this is when the uncle finally realizes that Clifford is huge, so they try to find that strange old man from the tent. However, they are unable to find him. However, this movie takes a turn where they try to basically find a way to get Clifford to be small again. They take him to the vet. The vet has no idea how he's so big. And this leads us to a bunch of shenanigans and inevitably leads to a scientist person, genetics person finding Clifford and is like, "Oh man, we need this dog." And he's just one of the more mediocre kind of villains. He's just a basic children's show villain. He wants Clifford because he wants to use Clifford's big mutated whatever to make his fruits and stuff bigger, I guess, because he's a shitty kids show villain, but that's the whole reason why he wants Clifford. Is he wants Clifford because he thinks that if Clifford's so big, maybe it'll make their fruits and all the stuff they're testing on, all the different foods, taste better and get them bigger portions. So obviously he wants to get Clifford. And so the whole movie basically becomes this whole scenario where the characters are trying to stop Clifford from being taken by these guys. Inevitably, it ends up happening. And then one of the best scenes in this movie is where they break out of the scientist's laboratory. Him and his mates get into cars and chase Clifford while Emily is riding Clifford through the streets of the city, jumping on cars, jumping on the sides of buildings. It's crazy, tons of fun. One of the best scenes in the movie, full of tons of action. It's gonna get your kids really excited. And then they all get to the park. There are groups of people that say Clifford is dangerous and that he's scary. And then there are the groups of people from the town that the movie takes place in that are like, no, no, he's the best, dude. He helped me. He saved my life and all that jazz. And then finally, it's led to a really nice moment of Emily saying, Clifford is different. I understand. He's scary. He might be considered different and strange, but he's a really friendly dog. He only loves, all he does is love. He is very friendly and he couldn't hurt anybody. And I know what it's like to be bullied and to be treated differently. But Clifford is the same as any of us. And if we were all the same, there wouldn't be all of these magical moments. Everyone is touched and they decide that Clifford can stay, and Clifford becomes a huge part of the community in the end of the movie. He becomes a part of the community. They even make him his giant little doghouse within the town, and it's a really cool moment. Casey stops being a fuck up and gets his own job, and the tenant or the landlord lets Emily and her mother back into the apartment building, and Clifford continues to help the townsfolk of this community. It's a really nice ending for a movie, almost a fairy book ending. But let me know what you guys think about this movie. I thought it was definitely one of the better kids' movies out of recent years. I thought it was going to be a shitty kids' movie, but it wasn't. I was surprised at how good it was. But let me know again what you guys thought about the movie in the comments below if you've seen it. And with that being said, do take care and have a great night.